Greetings. This is Robert Lyon, lead designer for RTL Games, here to show you another one of our games coming up called Strip Mall. Strip Mall is a card game based on you, the player, who owns a business within a strip mall, and your job is to basically run the business. The goal of the game is to acquire other businesses within the strip mall to, increase your footprint within the strip mall, to create financial security, and so on. So this is a great game for people that want to learn more about business, to learn money management, and also it's a lot of fun to play. There's a lot of ways in which you can kind of get even with your other players. There's ways in which you can tank other people's businesses. There's all sorts of cool things. But let's first take a look at what's inside the box. So, a bunch of stuff going on in here. So we've got some clips that goes with these cards, and this card is basically the data plate by which you're going to use most of how the gameplay works. So everything works off of a credit rating. So you have a credit rating of 1 as you start off with, because you're starting a business, and as you complete every turn and successfully pay your bills, your credit rating will go up by 1. It goes up to 8. At which point you also see there's rent. You have to pay rent on the space that you're using. As you see, when you got a poor credit rating, your rent's relatively high. But as your credit rating gets better, you'll notice that it gets lower and lower and lower. On the left side, you're going to see that says roll. That's actually your business effectiveness rating. There's a number of things that will happen, and we'll get that in a second, that will affect your die roll. And again, the game comes with 1d6. So what happens is you take all your modifiers, and again, I'll show you what those look like in a second, and you'll roll a die, and you'll consult the chart and figure out how much money that you make for your particular turn. Now, you will notice that next to it there is also a tax. Because the city has their tax, state has their tax, federal has their tax. So based on the income by which you make, you have to pay a tax on that. And there's a number of other fees that will come into play also. To help you kind of work out the details of how this all works, we have another card that goes with the accountant card, which is a gameplay card. It shows you how each turn works and exactly what happens within each part of that turn. This is effectively one turn within a player. So you notice there's a lot of things you can do. You can advertise your business, which gives you a bonus to your roll. Costs a little bit of money, but again, you're paying to advertise. You can sell event cards. I'll show you those in a minute. You could hire new employees, and an employee will give you an extra card. So what will happen is this. So you'll have an event card, and these are the event cards. So each turn, an event will happen to your store in the strip mall. Now that can be something as simple as there's a break room disaster. Somebody decides to cook salmon in the microwave, reducing your business effectiveness. You see here the die roll here is a -1, which means you take a negative penalty because somebody decided to cook salmon in the microwave, and nobody wants to work in that environment. So it reduces your business effectiveness. So again, you have cards like copycat, somebody stealing your ideas and selling them to another store. There's puppies. Somebody decides to use puppies in their display in the window next to yours, and it takes away business. So all the things you have here, and you see you've got a number of cards: Black Friday, bad mascots, time traveler ATM. So the ATM spits out currency that's people can't spend. Unlimited coffee breaks. Hey, got to have coffee breaks. +1 to all the employees. So it gives you a bonus to your roll. So you see here, there's a number of things. Oh, so there's also other modifiers such as pay no taxes. So that tax roll that you saw earlier, you would just avoid that for this turn if you had this card. So you normally would draw 1 per turn. If you hire an employee, you get a +1 per turn. So that's kind of neat. So you get to go through all that stuff. So you see there's tons of things that happen to your business, tons of things that can go wrong, lots of things that can go right, and all of it will affect your business rating. So how does this whole thing work? Okay, so you have business cards. And these business cards are literally businesses. And they're qualified by what kind of business they are. See, this one is hair salon. You also have electronics, tea and coffee. And these are businesses, we try to clump them together as much as they made sense. Although, as you can see here, it's a pretty thick deck. And we probably will be narrowing this down as we go into full-scale production. Again, this is just the prototype of the game. I think we're pretty close to being good. But a bit more playtesting, and we should be able to narrow this down. So in the beginning of the game, you will draw a business, and this business will be what you're going to be running for the game. So you take this, put it on, you take your accountant card, and you take your gameplay card, and then from there, spin them around so you can see them. And this is basically how you would run your place in the strip mall. So what happens is, after you pick yours, you're going to select a number of other ones to go into the strip mall. Now the idea is, if anybody else draws another hair salon card, that other hair salon card goes in the strip mall. So that means that you got a -1 penalty because there's another competitor within the strip mall that's doing the same thing you are. And then you also draw out additional businesses for like sporting goods, office supplies, various other things. So you draw 6 of these. And you can add more or take some out depending upon how many people are playing in the game. So during your turn, you're going to draw an event card. So you draw an event card, it's say puppies, which means somebody within strip mall is using puppies in their window to draw more business to them, drawing business away from you, so you got a -1 modifier. Great. So I'm going to take that card, got it. I'm not going to hire new employees because I just don't feel like it at the moment. However, if I did, I would basically, in the beginning of my turn, take a token for the extra employee. I would draw an event card, actually draw 2 event cards because I had that. And then I would go to the next one, which is advertise. If I want to advertise, it's $200 for a +1. I'll advertise, so I'll spend $200. And again, for money, we're using these interesting little tokens here. We tried paper money, but again, there's so much money moving back and forth. These worked a lot more efficiently than just the paper dollars we were using. So we were using money that looked like this, they're typical, traditional paper dollars, but because they're kind of sticky, it's hard to move a lot of them, and it got to be kind of a hassle. So we got rid of that. We went to these, and these worked out a lot better. So you'll pay $200 for a +1, and that's what that would work like. So I'm on a -1 now. A +1 for advertising takes it to 0. Request for assistance. So you can go to any other player and say, hey, would you help me promote my store? And they can say yes or no. And if they say yes, they can ask for something like money, or they may want your card, or if it was a benefit card, or they may want something to kind of help you out to do something. So you can ask another player to do that. Again, whatever you want to negotiate is a negotiation. I try to keep it as open as possible so that whatever you decided to negotiate, hey, give me a soda, that could be a legitimate point for negotiation. So you could literally do that if you wanted to. Granted, within common sense, please don't go too nuts. But we wanted to make it as sociable as possible so you can negotiate those things and make them work. You could also sell your event card. And this is being a -1, you probably have to pay somebody to take it away from you, but you can do that too. Hey, take my -1, I'll give you $100, or whatever you decide to negotiate. Again, negotiations are totally open. What you can get away with to negotiate this card, you can pretty much do. There's no rules on that. Within the scope of the game, you want to make sure that it makes sense, but all players are working within their own benefits, so that if it's good for them and they think it's a good deal, they can make that deal. It's totally up to them. Okay, so the next part of the turn is to roll business effectiveness. So we'll roll the dice, and I got a 5. Okay, consulting this, again, I advertised, so it is a +1. Puppies is a -1. I rolled a 5, which means on this roll I made $1,500. Now, once I pay all my bills, so I pay my rent, and right now my credit rating is 1, because I started the game. So it'd be $700 plus $200, right, because I'm paying tax. That'd be $900 total I would owe the bank. So it'd be $900 minus $1,500, which means I would only make $600 for that turn. That's business, right? So that's how business works. And now I have $600, now I go into my next turn and so on. So when you have to pay all your bills, again, it's all listed out here. So you pay your taxes, that's the point here, pay your taxes. You pay your rent's to credit rating. You pay your employees, and they're $100 per, which I didn't hire one, but if I did, I have to pay an extra $100 for that. And if I want to bid to buy out, again, this is how the game is won. Let's say I want to bid to buy out. So I have $600. I want to bid to buy somebody out. So it's $600 to take somebody over. I have $600. Good golly, I can try to buy another one of these stores. But I need to roll a 3 or higher on this die. So there's 3, 4, 5, or 6 that I can roll to get this business. So let's say I want to take over the office supplies. I pay my $600. I'm now completely broke. I roll the dice, it's a 5, I now own this business. So now I have an extra business. Now, part of the game is this, is that you can have as many businesses out here, or decide that you have to own a certain number of businesses depending upon how many people play the game. The fewer number of people, the faster gameplay goes, so you can put out more players and do what you like. Or more businesses, for that matter. And just put in more businesses so you can play longer, and really it's just play as long as you want, really, as this stuff goes. A game is only as fun as there is an end to it. So if you have a goal in mind, you set that goal and then you just play to that. So that's more or less kind of in a nutshell how this whole thing works. Again, there's neat little clips to go with this so you can keep track of the credit rating if you so desire. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. This game is, of course, available for sale as we speak right now. The Game Crafter, can't say enough great things about them. You see here, this is the quality of work that they produce. They do great stuff. Again, it's kind of up to you to make good quality stuff going into the system. It really is a garbage in, garbage out. If you do have bad work, you will get bad work back. But if you give them good work, if you put your effort into it, you will get high quality stuff. And as you can see here, this is pretty good stuff. I mean, the image quality is good. You see the little bit of sheen on it. They put a great coating on these cards. They're not super sticky. They're pretty durable. Pretty happy with the quality of it. Again, the box itself is pretty good stuff. Pretty thrilled with that. And again, the game box size, we're trying to keep it reasonably small. One, because it fits everything, and two, because it reduces your cost significantly if you have a smaller footprint with the box. But again, if there's any other things you think we should put into the game, if you think we're missing something, we're always open for comments. Again, this is still prototype. However, we are selling this because it's still a lot of fun to play. We're always looking to improve versions as they go. So again, comments, questions, please let us know. We also have a link to the game itself within the Game Crafter. And again, can't say enough great things about the Game Crafter. They do wonderful work. Always happy to be a person getting their services, and I would highly recommend their stuff. Anyways, this is Robert Lyon, again, lead designer for RTL Games. Thank you for your time and attention, and as always, happy gaming.